Good morning, everyone. Before we proceed to my report, please allow me to introduce myself. By the way, I am Isaac D. Sepulveda, and I will be the one to tackle about the positive consequences of globalization, negative impact of globalization, ethical issues of globalization, and solutions to ethical problems of globalization. So before that, I will show you guys a picture and try to answer them mentally, okay? So first, have you tried listening to songs in Spotify or YouTube Music? Next, did you crave for this? Or do you have account on this? So how was it, guys? If you answered yes one of my questions, then you're not alone. In fact, we can observe this trend among many young people of our age. That just means we're a living person, right? um, and also we're participating in our modern world. Okay, move on. Let us now proceed to what is globalization and here its definition. First, globalization is the increasing interaction of people, states, or countries through the growth of the international flow of money, ideas, and culture. Thus, globalization is primarily focused on economic process of integration that has social and cultural aspects. So, the key term here is the interactions. Sa globalization na ay interaction of people, na ay ugnayan ang mga there's a socialization or interaction of people in countries. Next, it is the interconnectedness of people and business across the world that eventually lead to global, cultural, political, and economic integration. So, when we say interconnectedness, there is connectivity connected with each other. For example, katong mga fast food chain such as McDo, Jollibee, kana sila dili man jud originally made in Philippines. But because of globalization, na ay possible tong pag-ani sa mga fast food chains sa laing lugar diri sa Philippines. Ma-adapt nato ang kanya-kanyang uso. That's one of the impact and effect of globalization. No, there is interconnectedness of people and business. Dili lang kay tawo pati business pod. Okay, so let's proceed to the next definition. It is the ability to move and communicate easily with others all over the world in order to conduct business internationally. So, the key term here is there is movement and communication. Actually, synonymous ilang mga other definition of globalization. Next, it is the free movement of goods, services, and people across the world in a seamless and integrated manner. Oh, now from what I said earlier, there is a movement of people and also good and services. Mao ganing high-tech na ta karon, daghan na tag mga technology today nga gikan sa laing lugar. For example, iPhone 14 Pro Max fully paid, iPad, MacBook, all of that came from other country, di ba? Or gibuhat sa tagalaing nasod, and because of globalization, nabot ito sa ating bansa, sa Philippines, okay? Lastly, it refers to countries acting like magnets, attracting global capital by opening up their economies to multinational corporations. So mauna no ang mga its definition of globalization. And for now on, let us now proceed to the positive consequences of globalization and negative impact of globalization. But first, let's enumerate what are the positive aspects of globalization. So sa positive consequences of globalization, na diri ang multiculturalism and multilingualism. From the word multi means daghan, di ba? That means na ay diversity, meaning we are able to embrace and appreciate different races, different cultures, different nations as if we are one. So sa positive consequences sa globalization na diri ang multiculturalism o multilingualism kay we're able to connect to different places. So since naa natin connections each country, nagme-merge na dayon atong culture, mga pagtuo nato to the point ma-adapt na nato ilang culture or tradition. Like kanang for example sa Korea, anang adik na ta sa mga Korean drama or sa ilang mga language dito, mga sinutan, everything. Sobra na tag-adapt nga halos ang uban bisag busag murag gilanta na sa kainit la mag-jacket jud with turtleneck pa. Aesthetic daw kunuhay. Ug kana usahay combination na sa each culture mao nang naay multiculturalism ug multilingualism ug that's the one of the positive consequences of globalization. Sunod kay free trade. Mao nang naay mahimong free trade between different countries around the world without imposing any taxes, any tariffs. Kana tanan maabot with free ra na with no restrictions, pero nakadepende lang na siya sa sabutan sa each country. And lastly, cultural and educational exchanges. Aware ba mo nga sa una bisag karon good na himitabong exchange students to the point nga gikan sila sa laing lugar, muani sila sa atong lugar para makabalo sa atong culture. Pareha ra gud anang mga uban foreigner kanang muani lang sila para maka-discover sila new things about sa atong lugar or og kita pod nga willing motulo sila sa atong language or culture. Mao nang may tabo nga mao na ay may tabo that is free movement of people. Mao nang may tabong educational exchanges. Let's move on and let us now proceed to the negative impact of globalization. One of the negative impact of globalization is linguistic hegemony of English. Pasabot, even though you are a nation on a race coming from in a non-English language, mapugsan jud tag English. Like sa laing lugar mapugsan sila English para lang maka-communicate sila sa laing lugar since English is considered as a universal language. Mao nay naka-disadvantage gyud sa uban nga nakahatag og negative impact sa ilaha. And next is the racism and anti-migrant sentiment. We have to address this every time. Racism is anti-migrant sentiment. Racism is very evident na ana diha ang stereotyping, discriminations. Each countries kay this globalization is all about interconnection or kanang pagkaiusan natong tanan, di ba? And we all know that nobody is perfect yun. Tanang tao nakasulay discriminate og tao yun, di yun na malikayan, di ba? And when it comes to anti-migrant sentiment, example, ako mo tukog laing nasud ang mga, for example, matukog Singapore, kanang ang mga tao dito sa Singapore, di sila ganahan matukog dito sa ilang lugar, di sila ganahan na ilang taong masagol sa ila. Mo nang may tabong anti-migrant sentiment, mo nang mahimong case or negative impact sa globalization. Moving on to the ending topic, let us now proceed to the ethnical issues of globalization. So one of the prevailing issues is the human rights. Globalization threatens the rights of indigenous people. Commonly, luoy gyud ang mga indigenous people sa ato diri sayon na nila abi kay uneducated, illiterate, og uban nga halos mabot sa point nga ang kuno nila ang mga property nila kulatawon sila para ihatag. Mga indigenous people struggle against no mercy people gyud But how do we end this problem? What are the solution of this ethical problem? First, focus on the priorities. Mind your own business. Include indigenous people in discussions of land use. Syempre, treat them like a person. Next, apply the law to ensure land rights are protected. And next, build public awareness and recognize their role in conversation. Pansin na gyud ang di mapatay. Dili ra kay kabalo mo ginhawa. Lastly, bridge the gap between policy and practice. And so, and that as I end this report, thank you everyone, and I hope you learn something from me kay kadlaw na gyud ni ituka nako. Thank you everyone, and ako ra ni. And that's all. Thank you. Mwah. Oh.